Welcome back to the CNR recap. I'm Griffin Aldrich. Alongside me, we got Andrew Quinn and Carl McDonald. And sorry for laughing. I had to say Andrew stepped up right before and just got me laughing. But the Boston Celtics win, and that's why you guys see a smile on my face today because Celtics win. And let's go. Let's go. Let's give it again. Celtics win today. Against the Milwaukee Bucks with a final score 107-79, the lowest the Celtics have kept the team to this year. I'm all over it and I'm all about it. And you guys know the drill. Let's go into initial thoughts. We'll start off with Andrew, go Carl, and back to myself.
Yeah, good win from them. This was a full team effort once again. Very happy with how they performed on the offensive glass and the defensive glass. Just in general, I think we did a much better job today. Team rebounding and just making sure to limit the Bucks to one possession at a time, and that's something the Celtics have somewhat struggled with. So it's good to see them improve upon that statistic. Um, in addition, I think we only had 9 turnovers tonight. Bucks only had 10, but for us to have 9 turnovers is huge. Once again, that's something I'm going to continue to harp on. When we take care of the ball and we have 24 assists in this game, we're in a good spot, and we shared the ball well tonight. I thought, just it seemed like everyone was in sync. We're making the right decisions offensively, very fluid, and moving together very well. And this Celtics team, man, is super competitive. They're always giving their best effort, especially tonight with Jordan Walsh. Jordan Walsh was super good. I loved his energy. I thought he was super aggressive in the paint and taking advantage of opportunities when they came to put the ball in the basket. And once again, guys are just stepping up when we need them. It's not always it's not always pretty, but tonight was a pretty one, and it's good to see the Celtics team continue to take strides and take care of opponents that they're supposed to take care of.
Yeah, pretty much gonna have to agree with Andrew there. Great to see the Boston Celtics going ahead and not only beating and giving a what you would say a beat down onto the Bucks, rivals of ours, but also going ahead and finding themselves to really play together and show that they are united. They're coming off of now back-to-back wins in the Garden, so going over the Kings and now the Bucks. Just really great to see. Brown's back in the lineup and, was great as always, as he's always been this season. Anthony Simons, the Inferno man, is going out there and giving you his thing. As Andrew has mentioned as well, Jordan Walsh being a guy who's giving you a lot of effort and just showing why he's very important to this team and why he's important to the rotation altogether. Derek White also played very well too, mainly on the offensive end and, of course, as always, on the defensive end as well. It is great to see the Boston Celtics in general just picking up this win and continuing their momentum. Now you have 31 wins going into or about to go into the All Star break and now going into the trade deadline. Of course, a far cry from what we originally anticipated where this team was going to be this season. And it's always refreshing to see this team, grinding and fighting and, just coming out on top after, doing all those bigger or little things that lead into, of course, big moments like a win like tonight.
Oh, well said, you guys. I think it's a huge day to do it too on the NBA Pioneers Classic. So great to get a win today. Um, And I have to mention too, I mentioned this, during the recap as I meant no, sorry, I mentioned we've been talking about this a lot, but I mentioned it in our group chat during the game. How do I get recap and group chat messed up? I guess I don't know. I don't know. But anyways, I was talking about Anthony Simon because I think the thing that we need to know is he's being shocked by the Boston Celtics, and we're obviously going to get into him later, but I think he's so valuable to this team. And, if you don't end up trading him, he walks this off season. Like, because again, you know, I don't think the Celtics are going to give him $27 million, and he's going to want the same amount of money. And you kind of look at that. If he had a good relationship with the team, maybe you see that number go down, but I don't think it would. But it's so important because Anthony Simons also had a huge game, as you guys alluded to as well. And, overall, a good team win. At first, it looked a little shaky, but let's get into that. Let's actually get into that really quick. So I'll pass it over to you, Carl, if you wanted to break down the quarters for us.
Absolutely. Thank you again, Griffin. Yeah, as you pretty much mentioned, the Milwaukee Bucks were actually dominating in that first quarter for the most part, but the Celtics were somehow able to find their stride and tie it up within that first quarter. So essentially, obviously, with the forecast, you see that darker green representing the Bucks, but then on the other side, the grass is definitely greener on there. Second quarter, you have the Boston Celtics beating out the Bucks by about 14 points. Would continue that momentum into the second half, even though the Bucks were trying to mount a comeback, albeit that comeback would result in the Celtics winning that quarter by a few points. And then going into that fourth quarter, the Celtics would end from 29 to 18 with only one lead change. And of course, ever since the end of that first quarter, going on to the end of the game, the Boston Celtics were just dominating the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks tried to come back, tried to essentially have that momentum that they had in the first quarter, but said attempt was not successful, resulting in, of course, the Celtics picking up this win.
No, well said, well said. And one thing I do have to mention is Celtics also led by 31 in this game at the end of the fourth. But the Milwaukee Bucks did lead by 12, as you were mentioning, Carl. Another thing, you guys see just green all the way on the Celtics side. This was pretty much a dominant win for the Boston Celtics because you see the Boston Celtics out rebounding them 52-40. Again, another strong rebounding night for the Boston Celtics. They also beat them in offensive and defensive rebounds, even the assist and turnovers. I know it was low, only 9 turnovers from the Celtics and 10 from the Bucks, but still, you beat them in the turnover category. And just shooting wise, we shot the lights out compared to them. I mean, 44.6 compared to 35.4. So great overall night from the Boston Celtics. And, another thing I want to add on to this is if you keep beating them on the stat sheet like this, you're going to get wins. It's just how it is and keeping the momentum going. But do you guys have anything to add on to that?
Yeah, I think these categories are a lot of them are kind of effort driven, and these guys are doing a lot to they're trying to win these games with maximum effort, maximum intent, and it's really nice to see them play it that way because when they do, they're going to give themselves a fighting chance. And I was just listening to the broadcast after this game finished up, and Drew Carter made an excellent point. This team is always competing in games. There's only been maybe 2 or 3 games where this team just looked like they were being completely outplayed and dominated. So this Celtics team is always going to give you their best fight, and you're going to have to give it your best fight as well to match their intensity and their effort. So this team really displayed that tonight. I want to, that's it. I think I won't go into anything else right now. I have some other comments later on, but that's basically my synopsis of this game.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to add on to that, Carl?
Yeah, pretty much just going off of what Andrew said. Yeah, this Boston Celtics team is playing with, a sense of urgency. And this is something that they've done in pretty much every single game that they have played throughout the season. Almost in the words of Jaylen Brown and maybe even Joe Mazzulla, it's like a life or death type situation for them. They're almost playing to survive, especially with, the circumstances that they have now. And even when they know that they can and should be able to beat a team, especially when said team doesn't have their best player, they're still going to have to play with that same intensity if, as opposed to playing with a team with their best players, available and all that. So definitely Of course, great to see the Celtics keeping up this energy regardless of the competition, and it shows here as well. I'm loving, the green with every single stat line here, keeping the turnovers at a minimal and, not losing to the Bucks in that fashion. And of course, as we've talked about the rebound game and how much better the Celtics have done in that department. Of course, field goal percentage is great to see along with assists and everything else. It's just great to see, the Boston Celtics learning from their mistakes, whether big or small, and applying them to all of these games.
No, well said, you guys. And I want to add on to this, even though Giannis didn't play today, but it might have been the last time we see the Antetokounmpo brothers play for the Milwaukee Bucks. So crazy to say. That's why we have Giannis spread all over here, even though he didn't get to play. But Andrew, if you wanted to go into the Bucks player stats, because again, no Giannis on there.
Yeah, I can quickly run down that. So Kyle Kuzma, 16 points, 2 for 4 from the three with 5 rebounds. Bobby Portis only 8 points, 12 rebounds. Miles Turner 7. He was taking some crazy shots in this game. He just did not look like himself. I mean, deep threes, just uncharacteristic shots from him, and I think that's just goes to show where this Milwaukee team is at. I think they're just in a position where you're not really playing for anyone. It feels weird. It's a weird team right now, weird dynamic. And obviously it's because they don't have their leader in Giannis Antetokounmpo on the floor. Ryan Hollins, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 25 points. He's their bright spot. He's been in this league for 4 years, but this season he's really, really taken off. And he was originally on the Warriors G League team, and they cut him. So he is a G League alum, and he is performing at an elite level. A lot of crafty finishes around this rim, and just really playing well. And he's a fun player to watch. I'll give him that. I will give him that. He is an entertaining playing to watch. He's just smooth. Pete Nance, 4 points. I thought the Celtics did a good job of attacking him tonight, getting him in mismatches, putting him into pick and rolls, and making him work. Because this team, I mean, Miles Turner, but once you get rid of once Miles Turner leaves the floor, you're either going to go small with Bobby Portis and Kuzma and kind of try to defend that paint area, or you got to go with Pete Nance. And let's be honest, Pete Nance is not who you're looking for as a player. The Celtics aren't looking to get him in the trade deadline. I'll tell you that much. So I think he's a weak point of this Bucks team, and the Celtics did a good job of attacking him tonight, and like I said, making sure that they took advantage of the moment. Gary Trent, 9 points, and then the rest of this team really, fizzled out and didn't really contribute too much. Cole Anthony, only 2 points on 14 minutes. So good job on the Celtics locking him up, or just Cole Anthony not playing his game. But that's kind of the box score tonight.
Yeah, for the box score for the Boston Celtics tonight, Josh Minot and Amari Williams kind of played in garbage time tonight. Amari Williams, you see it down below, only got a rebound, not much from him. But our boy Ron Harper doing well in the G League today, had 31 points and 13 rebounds. So got to give him a credit, even though he didn't play in this game, but just got
absolutely insane. Although they lost, he is just cooking in the G League, and he's a man amongst boys, and it's insane to me. And I'll tell you, I'll say this: if the Celtics may not pull him up, who knows yet this season, but he's going to get a shot. He's going to get a shot, and that's all he can ask for, and that's big time for Ron Harper. So he's going to get a shot, whether it's with this Celtics team or another team in this NBA.
Well said. And then tonight, Baylor Shireman, Luka Garza, and Hugo Gonzalez were all in the mix. They all kind of had around the same minutes, but Baylor Shireman, 4 rebounds after winning a CNR MVP. Luka Garza, 3 points, 2 rebounds, and Hugo Gonzalez. I liked his defensive effort tonight, but 5 rebounds, 2 steals, but didn't look like his normal self tonight out there. But still, I like flashes of what he did tonight. Sam Hauser got the start. As usual, 3 points, a rebound, and an assist. Only shot 11.1% from the field goal. Rough night shooting from him. Peyton Pritchard tonight, we saw him have a great game last game, but tonight only had 7 points, 3 rebounds, and 5 assists. Only shot 25%, but you guys mentioned it. Jordan Walsh tonight had a great game. I mean, played 20 minutes, and he's really fighting to be out there, as Scal even said on the broadcast, looking to try to get his starting spot back, as he had 6 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and a block, but just looked aggressive out there. I love the intensity that he's providing. So love that. Neemias Queta, 14 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and a block. He had a very good game, and you love to see him have this type of game. This is what you're seeing from Neemias Queta, and I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I think my only thing with Neemias Queta right now is I think he seems, and this is recent. I don't know the direct stat on this, so I don't want to just speak out of ignorance, but like he seems to be getting in a lot of foul trouble recently, and that's been putting us in big spots. Obviously tonight, 4 fouls. That's fine. You're okay. But I don't know. It's just he does find a way to pick up fouls, and we need him on the floor. We need him to stay within this game and not get those fouls. And so Neemias Queta, I think, can work a little bit better at just defending, staying straight up, and not drawing those fouls.
No, without a doubt, 100%. I agree. I think that's an issue in his game where he needs to work on, because again, like, you want to give him these minutes, and I love the minutes that Garza gives you, and even Amari Williams, but I think that's so crucial for him. So I agree on that.
But I will say I'm very impressed with Cade, and I said it yesterday. I feel like it's given, this trade discussion, and his spot is threatened if they do bring in a big-time center. So I think this is giving him a little more fire under his ass to prove to the Celtics organization, hey, man, you already got a center. I'm right here. And these last 2 games have been really, really good from him, trying to prove that to this team.
No, well said. Well said. Hold on 1 second. Sorry. Just had to respond really quick. No, well said right there. Do you have anything you want to add on to that, Carl, with Neemias Queta?
Oh, no, I absolutely agree with you guys. Yeah, I feel like even coming into this season, it is something that I've discussed in the past as well. That was really his only problem, was the foul trouble. But other than that, I feel like, this is something he can definitely manage himself out of, just because he's already showing that he's a great center, for this team, and easily the most underrated center in the league today. Yeah, so I feel like it is something that he'll definitely manage through, whether, it's the team motivating him or him seeing, his past performances and that motivating him too. I would love to, see even more completeness from, Queta at the center position, and definitely calling out the fouls that he gets is, a great place to start.
No, well said. But moving up on the list, though, Derek White, 32 minutes tonight, 17 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, a steal, and shot 42.9%. And I thought tonight he had a very, very, very good game. And I should have put his stats up here from how good he played. But, that's a Derek White game, and that's what I love about it. And he can be mentioned in CNR MVP voting. I'm down for that. But these are the 2 guys who really stood out to me tonight. As Andrew says, it's getting hot in here, guys. It's getting hot in here. But why do we even put Anthony Simons? It should be Anferno Simons.
I know, that's it. Well, next time.
Yeah,
he's making us warm, guys.
And I need a graphic. And I need an Anferno graphic. I got you.
He's making us warm, you guys. We're warm here. We're warm here. Andrew's cold over there, but
I'm freezing right now. I don't know why, bro. I am.
Anferno is gonna heat it up for you.
It's this middle of winter Maine action out here, man. I really hope the groundhog sees. What is it? He needs to see a shadow.
Is it?
Or if he sees it, whatever it is, I hope it happens, because I need spring, man.
Please open your eyes, groundhog. Please.
Yeah, please, man.
Wait, please. Is
Hot
it
Totsy
is
Phil,
it if he
bro.
sees
Come
his
on.
shadow? Is it?
I don't know. Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the comments.
Is the
Need
groundhog?
some education.
Because I'm tired of this cold winter. I'm telling you guys. But do you know who isn't cold though? Anthony Simons, who tonight had 27 points, 3 rebounds, an assist, and shot 55.6% from the field goal. And I think at one point, like he was in there for like 11 minutes and had 14 points or something like that.
Yep.
And that's the thing. If Joe Mazzulla went to him more tonight, I think, if he got Derek White's minutes and took more shots, again, he could have lit it up. But 10 for 18, not a whole lot, but still, I think he had a phenomenal game. And this is a guy again. I went to. I'm as I was gonna play with you guys, but I'm not gonna joke like that because Andrew will attack me for it. So I'm not even gonna say it. But I'm under the influence. I'm under the influence. Yeah.
They're on their way, Griffin. They're on their way.
No way.
They're on their way. You better get running.
I'll fix it up, though. I'm under the impression, though, that it looks like the Celtics are going to try to find a new home for him. And I do not want that. I do not want that. We want the Inferno here. But Jaylen Brown next up.
Just like the parade. Oh, man.
Just like the parade, bro.
Oh,
so cool.
But Jaylen Brown, 30 points, 2 assists, a steal, and had 13 rebounds, double-double, and shot 60% from the field goal. Whew. JB tonight was just incredible. I mean, I think we've been snubbing him a lot for CNR MVP just because how well his performance is. And it's like, we at nights we're like, you can't really give it to JB because it's like he gets so many MVPs, but it's just because he affects the game so much and he's really helping this team. But I think we're going to have more to say about him right now. As we go into the CNR MVP voting. We'll start off with you, Andrew, go Carl, and myself. Who do you got for CNR MVP tonight?
I'm going Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown tonight with 13 rebounds, 30 points. Super, super impressed. Shot 66.7% from the 3, and from his field goal percentage was 60%, which are crazy numbers. I mean, that efficiency is unmatched, and it's just a testament to how good Jaylen Brown is. I also think, actually, I don't know where I was going with this, but Jaylen Brown, I believe he just gets to his spots. He's super, super aggressive. He's a leader for this team, and tonight he showed it. So good stuff from Jaylen Brown. But that efficiency is insane.
Well said. Who you got, Carl? This is like the weight on your shoulders right now. Second guy. You could either tie it or make it automatic here.
The middle, man. I love it. I'm going to go with Jaylen Brown as well, actually. Yeah,
right.
Like, Andrew has mentioned, easily, one of the best players in the league today with, the task that he was given. And not only is he meeting expectations, but exceeding them essentially by a mile or two. This is a guy who's just ended the game with a 30-point double-double right there, 60% in shooting, as we have mentioned as well. It's like, what else, does he need to do to really show, he's that type of player. He's that player that the Celtics rightfully put their trust in him. It's always great to see Jaylen Brown, playing like this, but more importantly, being a great leader to this team. So in that case, of course, we're going to have him as tonight's CNR MVP.
I wanted to go Anthony Simons from how well he played tonight, but before I even got on the recap, I was thinking Jaylen Brown. I think, I was going to go to Simons to give him a little bit of credit, but we gave him some credit though tonight. But Jaylen Brown had a phenomenal game. I mean, you have a double-double and you've been one of, if not the best player in the NBA this season. And, it's just crazy what he does on a night to night basis. So, congratulations. Wait, we got to get a drum roll.
A drum roll.
Messed it up, Andrew. CNR MVP, Jaylen Brown, for the 10th time this season. Now, I'm telling you, Jaylen Brown probably deserves 20 MVPs to this point, but we have been giving it to other guys too because we need other guys to be noticed as well. But Jaylen Brown tonight really, truly deserved it. And, you see the stats. I mean, a double-double with 13 rebounds, unmatched. But we'll go around. Final thoughts really quick. We'll start off with Andrew, go Carl, and back to myself. What are your final thoughts after this win by the Boston Celtics?
Yeah, it's nice to see a 2-game win streak. I hope this kind of starts a little momentum for this team. And I think the Celtics team really, really has a shot to continue to just make strides, but also make an impact in this Eastern Conference. I'll talk about it shortly. The Cavs just made a kind of a interesting trade over there, picking up Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis. While I think it's an interesting trade, I don't know if the Cavs necessarily won that trade. Getting rid of DeAndre Hunter, a defensive presence with a small forward who can knock down threes. Jaylen Brown is going to have a little more of an opportunity to kind of eat against the Cavs, and so that kind of opens up this field even more, in my opinion. I think the Cavs kind of got a little worse. I think Keon Ellis is great, but we were talking about him. We didn't want him. He was kind of playing this year a little under his margins from last year. And Dennis Schroeder's Dennis Schroeder. I mean, he's good, but he's been shipped around 11 times. And I think for the Cavs, you got rid of DeAndre Hunter, and now you have to kind of start from scratch and figure out kind of this chemistry and all that. And I think right now it should be good for the Celtics to take advantage of this opportunity and continue to climb the leaderboard in the ranks.
Oh, well said. Well said. What do you got though, Carl?
Final thoughts here. Yes, pertaining to Simons, actually. Yeah, as you mentioned, Griffin, earlier. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of wanting to give him up just because we talked about this, in a win over the Bulls and even more so in the previous win we had against the Miami Heat, past win that we had against the Bulls prior to the Derrick Rose retirement, special jersey retirement. This is a guy who's finally found his stride, finally, found his place in Boston. And it pretty much from the beginning was confirmed that, hey, he wasn't going to be a long-term piece for Boston. But it does, really suck to have to see that essentially confirmed even more with the Celtics shopping him and the guarantee that even if he were to stay, it wouldn't be as long-term as we would think it is because of his current deal. Not only did it show, with past games that, he's had an impact, but of course this game as well, where he could have easily walked away with the CNR MVP. He also, had a near 30-point game as well, was very efficient, and he's always, finding a way to impact the game, whether it is on offense. He's coming into his own low-key as a defender as well. He's developing very nicely for a guy who, was in Portland, not doing too much compared to what he is doing now. And, I'm going to miss him when he does eventually go. And I hope that, when he does go, he's a part of, that one of those main guys that the team can look to be as reliable as he has been for us.
Yeah, I'm with you, Carl. You got to keep him, I think, right now, because if you look at this bench production from the Celtics, Anthony Simons is the only one, in my opinion, like consistently giving you buckets off this bench. You got guys here and there like Hauser, Shireman, and others that will contribute and will give you production, but their level of consistency is not nearly as close to Simons. And so you trade Simons away, and I just and unless Tatum comes back, but he's not gonna be playing at his full strength, like I don't know if you're gonna have that bench production that you want. And I think, in my opinion, you just ride with these guys. I think we're playing with house money. You got a good group of guys. all still trying to prove something. You have a good feeling about this season. You weren't meant to make it this far. Why don't you ride with the chemistry, the energy, the momentum that you have, and just say, "Hey, this is our time. We're gonna try to win this season, one way or the other, but we're not gonna make any moves, and we're gonna put our faith in the guys that have gotten us this far." I think that's what the Celtics should do this season, and I really think they should they should continue with this team so they could just continue this chemistry that they have.
I agree without a doubt, without a doubt. I think that's the most important thing because you guys mentioned too. We don't even know if Jason Tatum's coming back this year. Like
We have no idea.
so,
And that would be nice to have a little more clarity, honestly, about the whole situation. I know we're not the ones making the moves, it's the front office, and I'm sure they have a better understanding of where Tatum is at.
yeah,
And so and obviously they need to know that to make the right decisions. So I'm curious to see where they're going with this. But I also, yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, and this team was not supposed to be here, and then you go play against all these other teams, and you're probably looking at this Celtics team like, oh damn, here they come. This team we didn't expect. We can't lose to this team is not as good as they were last year. We can't let them win. Like you're kind of playing on edge. You're the underdog in all these games. And for me, I wouldn't want any other team in that underdog position other than the Boston Celtics. So
no,
to me, this is prime real estate. We're in a good spot right now. And we just got to keep continuing to grow and improve as the season progresses.
well said. Do you have anything you want to add on to that, Carl?
No, yeah, just furthermore agreeing with Andrew. You might as well. We're about to end the season in about a month or in about 2 months, and yeah, we don't know when Jason Tatum's going to come back. He recently said, "Hey, I don't know if I'm actually going to come back this season," because he's still in that mindset of wanting to do it right the first time. Something he has said. So definitely, let it right out. Do we need a center? I would say so, absolutely, but at the same time you know what what's the best thing to do right now probably is just to keep going with what we have because again, great spot, great situation. We just need to improve on the little things to maybe make some type of push in the postseason, especially if we have Tatum back.
Well said. Well said, you guys. But with that being said, if Anthony Simons does end up getting traded, we'll keep you covered right here immediately here at Celtics Nation Rise. So make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications. But also, coming up this Thursday is going to be our first CNR trade deadline special, which will go a couple hours long. I'm excited and I'm happy we're finally announcing this. But times are yet to be determined. So we will be talking not only just Celtics, but breaking down other trades around the league, but just talking ball. So we're going to have more casual, have fun, and come in and, bother us, you guys, because you guys don't bother us. Just come have a fun time with us. But with that being said, too, everyone, so remember, trade deadline special on Thursday. Everyone check it out. But with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and turn on post notifications to be notified every time we upload. And again, you guys, we will let you know right here if anyone on the Celtics get traded. We will see you guys with the next one. Peace, guys.